As we just mentioned, the Mililani-Mauka fire is now fortunately 90% contained, but it is one of many fires that have plagued the islands of late. Most devastatingly, the Lahaina fire that killed 98 people. Joining us now to talk story about fires here in Hawaii and what can be done to prevent them is Clay Trauernicht, a fire management expert from the University of Hawaii. Aloha and good morning, Clay.
Morning. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So this fire above Mililani-Mauka, it was about 1,350 acres. We saw it in our native forest, right? A bunch of ohia trees, native bird species and snails. Visually, a very green area. Can you tell us why a fire would be able to start and burn in a very green area like that?
Yeah, the first thing to just keep in mind, I think people are well aware of, is these drought conditions that we've had, right? So we've been in pretty big rainfall deficit, and unfortunately, the forecast is not going to change too much with this El Nino potentially setting in. So we're looking at potentially dry conditions for the winter. And so that sets us up. And then it's sort of the unfortunate part of this fire is where it was burning, you have this aluhe fern, which covers the mountain like a carpet. It's kind of that bright, fluffy green that folks might have seen in some of the photos or just when you look up on the mountain. And what that fern does, it sort of acts as like this carpet, as I said, but it's elevated off the ground. It's kind of, it collects a lot of dead matter below it. And so when it burns and just doesn't take a whole lot of, sort of dry weeks beforehand for that to go. And it just sort of follows that carpet all across the mountain. And that's really what we saw. I think it's important to keep in mind, it's pretty rare for us to get these fires. I think, of all the area that burned that we've been tracking for like going back about 20 years, it's about 10% of the area burned actually happens in these forests. But it was burning trees, and that really was the effect that we saw of all that smoke, right? Most of our fires are in these grasslands at lower elevation.
Yeah, like you said, these grassland fires is something that we've been seeing a lot of course, high profile with what happened in Lahaina. But on the Big Island, we've seen a lot of that. On Maui, we've seen a lot of that outside of the Lahaina fire. Is this unusual what we've been seeing the past few years? And if so, what do you feel like is causing this?
Well, okay, two things. This one that we just saw, it is unusual, and in one sense of just where it was, sort of higher elevation in the mountains. And I think it's also important for people to keep in mind, when you see a fire in that kind of terrain, just how dangerous and how difficult it is to contain. And so the difference between this one and some of these lower elevation fires is that the sort of pre-fire actions that we recommend you can take, like putting in fire breaks, water resources like that would support firefighters, really doesn't apply in this situation. And so we really were, in the Mililani fire, really dealing with the most difficult conditions you could imagine. And I'm not talking about just in Hawaii. This is like relative to anywhere in the world. I mean, the sort of the steepness of that terrain, the difficulty in accessing and really imagining, people walking around up there safely, right? So it's very, very difficult. On the other hand, most of the fires that we see in the lowland areas are in these grassland areas. That's mostly former agricultural lands, and prior to starting about the 1980s, in the 90s, when it was active agriculture, there was a lot of resources on the ground to help firefighters. So, you had roads being maintained, water access, other infrastructure, and then people working on those lands that would help people. So help the firefighters. And so that's really where, again, 90% of the fires that we see, 90% of the area burned is happening in those kinds of landscapes where these actions can help. Things like putting in fuel breaks, converting the fuels to other things back into agriculture would be a huge difference. Doing things like grazing, managed grazing would have a big effect in reducing risk. And I think in the big picture, sort of at the community scale or the sort of society scale is thinking about how we are using public funds and otherwise to actually support actions like that in these landscapes that were managed, going back into plantation days, but pre-plantation and looking at Hawaiian history, like these were all actively farmed, actively used landscapes that are kind of sitting out there fallow and creating all this risk.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point when you took a look at the political things that we have to do as well as the community base. On an individual level, is there stuff that people can do just around their homes or in the community at large to help out?
100%. This is one of the things about fire that is actually, you got some sense of empowerment for, especially folks living in these leeward areas. But when we see a drought like now, being thinking about this at anywhere in the islands, there's a lot you can do around your house. And I would recommend either looking at the, your local fire department website or hawaiiwildfire.org. And we've got these ready, set, go guides that give you recommendations about, just how to clean up around your house, different like simple things you can do to keep your home safe and your family safe. And then thinking about organizing at the community level is another actions that a lot of people are taking. And looking at the FireWise program, this is managed by Department of Land and Natural Resources, along with Hawaii Wildfire Management Organization. And they're forming these committees in neighborhoods where folks get together. They kind of start looking at the neighborhood scale or subdivision scale about some actions that would make the whole community safer. And people are taking action at that level and organizing. So yeah, there's options that people can do on their own from the household level to the community. And then as we think about doing things on the larger landscape, that's the direction that we really need to head to prevent another disaster like Lahaina and Kula.
Yeah, well said. Some wonderful resources that are available. Clay Trahartic, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for all the work you do with wildfire management.
Anytime. Take care, Sam.
Aloha.